The former Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, Margaret ZzIwa, has won the first hurdle of her case. The case is challenging her dismissal as Speaker 2 years ago. 5 judges of the Appellate Division of the East African Court of Justice unanimously ruled in her favor.
She complained against certain actions and decisions of EALA and its committee that it would be premature at this stage to forestall her evidence on the pretext that it does not comply with the provisions of Section 20. We also take note of the wise prescription in some of the constitutions of the partner states, such as those of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, which provide that in exercising the judicial function, the court of justice shouldn't do substantial justice without undue regard to technicalities of procedure.
God is good, and God is great, and God is just. And I want to say that this is a very, very big milestone.
East African community lawyers had appealed to the Appellate Division of the East African Court of Justice to overturn an earlier ruling of the First Instance Division Court that ruled that her plea should be heard. Court dismissed objections raised by the former Secretary General Richard Ssezibera and therefore agreed with the First Instance Court. Her husband, Captain Francis Babu, was also in court to hear the judgment that was read at the headquarters of the East African community in Arusha, Tanzania. ZzIwa's lawyers Jetu Mwebaze and Justin Semuyaba said this was a landmark ruling for their client.
This is the technical knockout on round 1. That's what you'd call it. This has been a delaying tactic employed by the lawyers for the community to delay this trial.
I think today's decision by the Appellate Division of the East African Court of Justice has made our client overcome the biggest challenge or stumbling block that has been put across by the East African Community Secretary General. They have been trying to block the documents that she has to rely on to prove her case that she was illegally removed from office by arguing the Privileges Act, the privileges that the Assembly has. But this court has said, let that matter be heard.
In 2014, lawmakers of the East African Legislative Assembly impeached ZzIwa, alleging that she was incompetent, disrespectful, and had abused her office.
I'm seeking to be reinstated. Definitely, I've gone through a lot of anguish, a lot of pain. My family has gone through a lot of anguish and pain. I want that which you can't even quantify.
This ruling has set in motion the hearing of her case by judges of the First Instance Court.
I am happy, we are happy that today justice has been served, and this is the beginning of the end. And this court has said no. The court below had said no, and they appealed to this division, and this division has said no. Go back, that case must be heard. They were trying to stop the case from being heard.
When Margaret ZzIwa was impeached as Speaker of the East African Legislative Assembly, there was a lot of acrimony in this parliament. Now that the highest court of the organ has ruled that ZzIwa's case must be heard, the challenge here is whether she will be reinstated. Hearing of a case begins on the 24th June this year. Jingo Francis, NTV, Arusha, Tanzania.